mayumbero como yo.
Ay, negro, que me dé la mano. Tiene que ser gallo fino. Blanco, que me dé la mano. Tiene que ser mayombero como yo.
Negro, que me dé la mano. Tiene que ser negro fino.
Negro fino.
Blanco,
I don't know what's
que me dé
going
la
on.
mano. Tiene que ser mayumbero como yo.
Negro, que me dé la mano. Tiene que ser gallo fino. Blanco, que me dé la mano. Tiene que ser gangulero como yo.
Negro, que me dé la
mano.
Tiene que ser negro fino.
Negro fino.
Blanco, que me dé la mano.
Que me dé la mano.
Tiene que ser mayumbero como yo.
Pero negro, que me dé la mano. Tiene que ser negro fino. Blanco, que me dé la mano. Tiene que ser gangulero como yo.
For some reason, my Facebook Live is not
Que
working,
me dé la mano.
so I have to go through all this foolishness again.
Negro fino.
Blanco, que me dé
Hey!
Que me dé la mano.
Tiene que ser
I might have to turn this off and turn it back on again.
Tiene que ser, tiene que ser, tiene que ser mayombero como yo.
Tiene que ser, tiene que ser, tiene que ser mayumbero como yo.
Ah, tiene que ser, tiene que ser, tiene que ser mayombero como yo.
Tiene que ser, tiene que ser, tiene que ser mayumbero como yo.
Negro, que me dé la mano. Tiene que ser negro fino. Blanco, que me dé la mano. Tiene que ser mayombero como yo.
Negro, que me dé la
mano.
Tiene que ser negro fino.
Negro fino.
Blanco, que me dé la
mano.
Tiene que ser mayumbero como yo.
Tiene que ser, tiene que ser, tiene que ser mayombero como yo.
Tiene que ser,
Good
tiene
afternoon.
tiene que ser mayumbero como yo.
Tiene que ser, tiene que ser, tiene que ser gangulero como yo.
Tiene que ser, tiene que ser, tiene que ser mayumbero como yo.
África, África nada más, África te estoy llamando.
África nada más,
África te estoy llamando.
África nada más,
Yo te llamo y te llamo.
África nada más,
Ay, África te estoy llamando.
África nada más,
Ay, África, qué linda eres.
África nada más,
Ay, yo te llamo y te llamo.
África nada más,
Ay, África, África mía.
África nada más,
África, África mía.
África nada más,
África te estoy llamando.
África nada más,
África, África mía.
África nada más,
África mía.
África nada más.
Agua
Que se quema, agua San Miguel Candela Brava.
Agua.
Good morning, everyone.
Agua.
My Facebook Live is not working today.
agua que se quema, agua San Miguel Candela. Agua que se quema, agua San Miguel Candela Brava.
Agua que se quema, agua San Miguel Candela Brava.
Agua que
que se quema, agua San Miguel Candela brava.
Agua que se quema, agua San Miguel Candela brava.
Agua San Miguel, agua San Miguel, agua San Miguel Candela brava.
Agua que se quema, agua San Miguel Candela brava.
Agua que se quema, agua San Miguel Candela brava.
Agua que se quema,
For some reason,
agua San
Facebook
Miguel
Live is
Candela
not working.
brava.
Agua San Miguel, agua San Miguel, agua San Miguel Candela brava.
Agua que se quema, agua San Miguel Candela brava.
Agua va a caer, arriba los seres que están coronando allá arriba.
Agua va a caer,
Arriba los seres que están coronando allá arriba.
agua va a caer,
Arriba los seres que están coronando allá arriba.
agua va a caer,
Arriba los seres que están coronando allá arriba.
agua va a caer,
Arriba los seres que están coronando allá arriba.
agua va a caer,
Arriba los seres que están coronando allá arriba.
agua va a caer,
Arriba los seres que están coronando allá arriba.
agua va a caer.
Maina, maina, ye maina,
Ye 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 maina,
maina, ye maina,
ye 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 maina,
maina, ye maina,
ye 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 maina,
Maina, ye maina,
ye 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 maina,
maina, ye maina,
ye 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 maina,
maina, chiche maina,
che 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 maina,
maina, chiche maina,
che 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 maina,
chiche maina,
che 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 maina,
cu maina, maina, cu maina,
co maina,
cuenta maina,
co maina,
cuenta maina,
co maina,
arriba tu maina,
co maina,
cuenta maina,
co maina,
maina, cuenta maina,
co maina,
maina, cuenta maina,
co maina,
maina, cuenta maina,
co maina,
maina, cuenta maina,
co maina,
maina, cuenta maina,
maina cuenta,
cuenta maina,
maina cuenta,
cuenta maina,
maina
cuenta
cuenta,
maina,
maina cuenta,
cuenta maina,
maina cuenta,
cuenta maina,
maina
cuenta
cuenta,
maina,
maina cuenta,
cuenta maina.
maina cuenta.
Well, good morning if it's morning, good evening if it's evening, and good night if it's night. And a big hearty salam alaikum to each and every one of you that's listening to us live or that will be listening to us in archives. I got to tell you now, folks, I am having trouble loading on to Facebook Live. So I guess Facebook Live will not see this old face today. It's been doing this for the last whatever amount of time. I've been on Facebook and Instagram and on Speaker. And I don't have the slightest idea why it's not doing it. So, guys, if you happen to be watching me on YouTube, on YouTube, or on any one of these on platforms, and you want to share this, go ahead and share it on our Facebook Lives and things of that sort, so people can find us and know what's going on today, Good Friday. Yes, today is Good Friday. And first of all, will you please get that cat out of here? Thank you. First of all, before any, spiritual reasons or anything of that sort, Good Friday makes me think about my childhood. Okay, it makes me think about my grandmama and how she was a devout Catholic. And inside our home, when she came to live with us after she had gotten, older, there wasn't any music played. There wasn't any meat eaten. There wasn't all these little things that, old time Catholics did on Good Friday. And it just brings me back memory lane about her. Okay. So it's actually, I guess, an ancestral thing to me. But what really gets me on Good Friday, and this is something that's been getting me for a lot of years, the crisscross of the in-betweens, okay? The people that are in between spiritualities. I've always been a reluctant Catholic. I've always been reluctant of anything on that spectrum of my spirituality. But it is an ancestral thing. So I do certain things on Good Friday that I do in remembrance of my ancestors. Because my grandmother, as I said, was, that type of Catholic. I also remember going to Catholic churches on Easter Sunday. And when I was young, okay, and I was really young, Catholic services all over the place were still done in Latin, okay? So, mind you, I was bored as hell because 1, I didn't understand Latin. 2, I didn't want to be in church. And 3, it was just fucking plain boring to me. But anyway, the mixture of, okay? A lot of people in the ATRs and DTRs, for those of you who do not know what ATRs are, they are African traditional religions, okay? Or DTRs, diasporic, changed or manipulated to help us in our conditions. See, I'm often taken aback when you hear somebody say, well, this is not, a certain Rama Apollo or whatever is not traditional. Well, it is all traditional because the things that are used in Cuba were not the things that were used in Africa. Let's be real. But anyway, my whole thing of this conversation is today is, do you have your spiritual protections up? Why do I say this? Again, because I'm talking about the mixture of the ATRs with Christianity or with other terms of other things of belief. Although we do know that in certain Ramas of the Congo, in certain places in the Congo, Christianity was there before the slave trade. Okay, you don't want to believe me? Look up Kimbisa. Okay, the Empress herself. But anyway, in the ATRs and DTRs, I've seen people that during Holy Week, they cover their orishas, or they cover their ngangas, or in some cases, deem this to be the perfect day to do witchcraft. This Good Friday, the perfect day to do witchcraft. Now, why would you say that people do this? 1, because they've synchronized the ATRs and the DTRs with Christianity and with Catholicism, okay? And they have not been able to step back from that colonizing mindset. Now, why do you say people do a lot of witchcraft on this day, or what they deem, dark arts on this time? Okay, again, because they're still connected to the colonizing aspect, the Christian way of thinking about things. See, what happens is that people believe that this is the only day throughout the year, although this happened so many thousand years ago, but people believe that this day, Friday, Good Friday, is the only day that Jesus Christ, yes, the Nazareth, is not on this land, is not on this earthly plane, because he got crucified, he goes down to heaven, goes down to hell, goes back up. That's where you get the stories of the Black Christ and all that kind of other foolishness. All right, so you just got this. No judgment for their witchcraft. So the people that are all high and mighty and holy all year long say, well, shit, today is my fucking day to take it out on everybody that has done me wrong, that has whatever. This witchcraft will hit them better than anything else, and all that other kind of shit. Now, for you guys who are believers in this type of stuff, okay, I tell you, and maybe for those of you who are not believers in this stuff, you should always have your spiritual protection up 365 days a year. And if you are a a powerful worker or a worker that thinks, of your weight in gold, why pick this day to do wrong? You should be able to do it whenever the fuck you want to. But now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something else. With all the wrong that is in the world right now, this corona pandemic, with this with all the shit that's going around with the quarantine and all that kind of stuff that's going around, do you really want to waste your time on negative energy? Do you really want to put more hurt, more? Think about your character, your way of thinking, your head, as they say. See, but who am I to judge? I'm not judging anybody. But I'm just telling you, you either pick one or you pick the other. Pick one or pick the other, baby. It ain't that hard. Well, I am Candelo Kimbisa, and it's 12 o'clock. Whoa! It almost looks like we're around there. I didn't mean y'all to see my chicken leg. Oh shit, I am live on Facebook, baby. So y'all missed the whole part, the whole beginning part of what I was saying. Sorry, guys. Si todo fue blasfemia, tú nunca me quisiste porque mientes así. Si no es posible que me engañes más, no implores más, no me busques más. Como ayer, dicen que muere de espanto. Como ayer, aquel que visiones ve. Como ayer, pero dicen que muere de espanto. Como ayer, aquel que visiones ve. Como ayer, yo he visto la muerte en santo. Como ayer, no sé si me moriré. Como ayer, mi madre me dijo un día. Como ayer, ¿por qué tú no cantas? Como ayer, mi madrecita me dijo un día. Como ayer, ¿por qué tú no cantas? Como ayer, si yo te di la garganta. Como ayer, de hacer mi mampostería. Como ayer, vaya Irene, sabroso con ese tren. El 3-0 sinfónico. Hello, Latricia Freeman. Hello, Miss Nelly. Hello, Magali Soto. Mary B. Rose Harrington. And 12. The Motown Witches in the house. Rebecca Wright. Aquario. And on Instagram, y'all too far away. I can't even see the damn letters. Wow. Facebook, you missed the whole opening dialogue of this thing because I couldn't find out how to get you on at the time when I actually needed you. So you missed a whole dialogue about today being Good Friday. I'm going to go over it again just for you guys. Because I don't want a whole million people asking me questions in a little bit of what the fuck it was that I said. Okay. And this, of course, this is going to bring in a whole bunch of controversy. And people are going to say no, but remember, I've been in this for over 30 years and I know it's true. I talked a little bit about it being Good Friday and how it brought about memories of my grandmother, her being a devout Catholic, and she would not let us eat meat, listen to music, and a whole plethora of other things we couldn't do on Good Friday as children. I remember going to Catholic Mass on Sundays, on Easter Sunday, and at my time, of course, Catholic Masses were all done in Latin, okay? So my grandmother used to, read Latin and be able to say the prayers in Latin, okay? So that's something else that my grandmother would do. But the main thing I was talking about was the people in the synchronicity of the ATRs and DTRs with Catholicism and Christianity. It is a known fact that a whole bunch of people in the ATRs today, although they're all during the year, they're all love and light, decide to do left-hand work or try to do witchcraft. Now, you say, why? Why do they want to do witchcraft now? Well, because of the synchronicity, okay? Believing in two spiritualities, okay? Believing in two spiritualities, believing in Christianity and believing in the ATRs, okay? So if you believe in both or have a little bit of knowledge of both, they say to themselves that whatever they're done or whatever bad witchcraft is done on today, Good Friday, it is not seen by God. It can be done without judgment because it is the only day that Jesus Christ is not on the land. It's not here. Okay. He ascends into heaven. He ascends into hell, does whatever he does down there. That's where the thing comes up of the Black Christ. Okay. So they actually believe that whatever they do on this day, guess what? Nobody's here to watch it. It's not going to hurt them spiritually on their spiritual climb to whatever the fuck they're looking for. But I'm not saying that Christian beliefs were not in Africa prior to the diaspora. Okay. You want to believe it. You don't have to. We're talking about historical facts with Kimpabita, and several other queens that were in Africa prior to this. But that does not mean that they stopped whatever they were doing to honor someone other's dead ancestor. The spirituality was very different. Congolese spirituality and Congolese Christianity has nothing to do or had nothing to do with the way that evangelicals or the people of the New World see Christianity. Okay, so let's get that out the way. All right. So my whole thing is, if you come from one of these types of synchronized religions or synchronized spiritualities, it would be in your best interest to fucking protect yourself. All right. If you seem to believe in that type of spirituality, I protect myself all day, every fucking day of the year. And that should also be your practice. And for those of you who choose to do malice or do left-hand work on this day, I wonder, how do you justify that? How do you justify that? Because you are betraying one of your gods or one of your idols or your savior or whatever the fuck you want to call him. See, it still does not, it still doesn't calculate. It still doesn't melt in my brain how people do this. But this is a known tradition. And again, I'll get some hate mail about it. Some people will deny it. But hey, I know it's true. Okay? I know it's true, and I've seen it happen, and I've known people that have gotten stuff done to them on this so-called holy day. All right. So put your guards up, ladies and gentlemen. Just because it is Good Friday, it doesn't mean there's some asshole burning a fucking candle in your name. I am Candelo Kimbisa, and it's 12 o'clock somewhere. Man, I hope you're having a good day, baby. Y'all go on ahead and have your little food and do your things. Remember to socially distance yourself from motherfuckers because people are sick out there, and you know how that is. Well, let's play a little bit of music. Hopefully, I won't get muted or banned from any one of these sites. I'll be right back.
Hey, baby, hey, hey, beautiful girl. Sing. Hey, baby, hey, 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 beautiful girl. Baby, hey, sing. Hey, baby, hey, 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 beautiful girl. Come along to kiss me. Yeah, far I'm going. Come along to kiss me. Yeah, far I'm going. Don't you kiss me, nice. Oh, sorry, I'm going. Yeah, far I'm going. Don't you kiss me, nice. Nice.
Malaikum salam.
Far I'm going. Come along. You. Don't you meditate?
And there goes the fucking music. I tell you guys, this internet is driving me crazy.
Come along to kiss me. Yeah, far I'm going. Come along to kiss me. Yeah, far I'm going. Don't you kiss me, nice. Nice. Yeah, far I'm going. Don't you kiss me, nice. Oh, yeah, far I'm going. Come along. You.
I'm singing to my baby. She won't come. She's an alligator.
Hello, my baby. 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 Hello.
Malaikum salam to everybody that's saying it. Well, YouTube is lit up, Instagram is lit up, Facebook is lit up. I'm just wondering, with the great amount of death that's going on, there will be some seeds planted during this quarantine. A whole bunch of new babies, a whole bunch of new love created. As the song says, when I die and when I'm gone, there will be a seed to carry on. Ashe, Miss Maribel.
I do love you. So do I do love you too. So do I do love you too.
Remember to like and share this little experience. It's 12 o'clock somewhere, baby.
Baby, 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 hello my baby, hello my sweet, hello my baby, I need my simple, I love you. Hello my baby, hello my sweet, hello my baby, hello my baby, hello my baby, hello my chocolate, hello.
A rare bird, number one rare bird. Malaikum salam, brother. There goes my girl. She's sitting in front of me. I don't know why she's tuning in to the line.
I love you. I need you. I love you. I need you. Oh, baby, 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 hello my sweet, hello my baby, hello my chocolate, hello hello my love, sweet chocolate, hello my love, I love you, baby, I need you, baby, I love you, baby, I love you. Oh my baby.
Yes, sir. That was Lady Black Mix Max Smith Boombazo with Hello My Baby. Well, I haven't done this in a while, so I guess today I will read you a passage from The Adventures of High John the Conqueror by Steve Sanfield. And it's called This One, That One. One chilly midwinter's day, old master sent John down to town for a bit of business for him. It was late afternoon before John started back. Frost rimmed the ridges of the road. The sun had already slipped behind the piney woods in the west, and the sky was black as the bottom of a deep well by the time John passed the cemetery. Graveyards were places where dead people and ghosts lived, and John didn't want anything to do with those folks. He quickened his pace, but as he walked by the gate, he thought he heard someone talking. One part of himself told John to keep on moving as fast as he could, but another part of him made him creep closer so he could hear a little better. You take this one, and I'll take that one. You take this one, and I'll take that one, the voice said. And John was listening. What John was listening to was two slaves dividing up a sack of sweet potatoes they had liberated from their master's root cellar earlier that day. They figured that since no one ever went into the cemetery after dark, it would be a safe place for them to split their bounty. When John heard the voice say again, you take this one and I'll take that one, he thought, oh my goodness, Judgment Day has come. That must be the Lord and the devil dividing up everyone's souls. Not desiring to be around there for such an event, John scooted out of there faster than lightning flashing across the sky. He got back to the plantation without as much as taking a breath, and there was Master waiting for him, as he always was. Glad to see you moving so fast, John. That's the way I like to see you move. Now, how did business go? He asked. Forget about business, Master. There's more important business going down than your business. The Lord and the devil are down at the graveyard dividing up souls at this very moment. Don't start with your foolishness, John. Just tell me how it went today. It ain't no foolishness. I'm telling you the truth, said John. glancing over his shoulder to make sure he hadn't been followed. The Lord and the devil were down there dividing up souls. I heard it with my own 2 ears. Well, John, why don't we just both go down there and have a look? And if you're lying, I'll have 50 stripes laid across your hide, threatened Master. Lay as much stripes as you like, but I am telling you the truth. They are down there and they're dividing up souls. John didn't particularly want to return to the cemetery, but back then white folks did what they pleased, while black folks did as they could. So off he and Master went down the road. They stood there in the cold, dark night, unable to see anything, when they heard a voice say, "You take this one, I'll take that one. You take this one, I'll take that one. Didn't I tell you, Master? That's them there, the Lord and the devil, doing their business." Master thought he heard it right, but it wasn't something he wanted to believe. Besides, it wouldn't do good for his slave or any slave to see how he was feeling a little frightened. "Shh," he whispered. "Let's get a little closer." Just as they reached the gate, the two fellas who had been dividing up the potatoes came to the bottom of the gunny sack. The one who was counting remembered they had dropped 2 potatoes as they entered the cemetery. "You take those 2, he said, "and I'll take the 2 by the gate." John and Master didn't waste a single word discussing it. They both started running like 2 deer, trying to get out the path of a forest fire. They passed each other again and again and again. But that night, for the first time, Master ran faster than John. And he was already at the big house when John arrived. "Was I right, Master? Was I right?" he griped. John trying to catch up with his own breath. Master nodded his head in agreement. His breath hadn't caught up with him yet either. Before he went inside, he calmly bolted and locked the door to the night and to anything or anyone who might be out there. But you can once be sure it was a long, long time before he doubted High John the Conqueror's words again. Guys, again, these stories come from The Adventures of High John the Conqueror by Stephen Sandfield. Please do buy yourself a copy, give it to your children, read it to your children, read it to your grandchildren. It is a very good lesson on High John the Conqueror and why it is revered and why he is revered and why people use him to this day or use the root name High John the Conqueror to this day. There are so many of you using this root. There are so many of you playing conjure doctors, or hoodoo, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, but don't know the history behind these roots, don't know the folklore behind these roots. So I ask you all to look into them, check them out, check out this book, and hey, baby, you know how it is. Well, let's get into a little bit of this song here, because every time I play it, I get a whole bunch of people that actually love it. So let's play it and let's get down. It's Good Friday. And if your grandmother's in the house, please turn the music down. Someone you can't see it.
A la tola, aquí la tola, para un bao chile. Uruta guabobi, a mama loro, orugo camei mei, orugo camei mei, guolo tu mare. Gato pingo yo, agua que te lepe, oh, que te huela, ve. Oh, patele la valoriza. Oh, patele la valoriza. Oh, patele la valato. Y lupo valle. Oh, paufo. Ache. Que te rayo me lleva si te legua. Si te legua poco, si que te legua.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
Oh, que te legua, pongo, que te legua.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
Oh, yo que te legua, pongo, que te legua.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
Ah, rayo va con gogo, que te legua.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
Arriba para abajo, ponte, que te legua.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
Rayo allá la fama, que te legua, gogo, que te legua.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
Rayo, calle Chileo, que te legua.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
Let's see some hearts, Facebook. God damn.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
Rayo mata un gogo, que te legua.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
Legua, gogo, que legua, gogo.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
There goes my boy
Rayo me lleva
I bet you were somewhere in the house. You got the Motown Witch. It's on YouTube.
Rayo me lleva si te leo.
Keep your home.
Rayo me lleva Rayo me lleva
Them hearts feel just like the drums, baby.
Rayo me lleva Rayo me lleva si te leo.
There you go. Rose Harrington. How you doing, mama? Letitia Freeman. Miss Nelly. Magali Soto. Well, Instagram, we're coming to the end of this because they will be cutting me off soon. Y'all want to see the rest of the party? Go on over to Facebook or go on over to YouTube.
Este mundo tan traidor, ella le imploraba a Dios. Ella le imploraba a Dios, Giovanna, pero nadie la escuchaba. Pero nadie la escuchaba, que ella decidió volar. Ya la mira en Belén, ya la. Abuela, ¿cómo va a volar?
Eric Cologne is in the house. Salam alaikum, Tata. Crystal Yamaya is in the house. Maria Candelo is in the house. Katrina Mead is in the house.
¿Cómo va a volar? ¿Cómo vuela ya? Vuela niña, vuela ya. Vuela, ¿cómo va a volar? Corre Vallejo, corre pa' Guace. 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 Corre Vallejo, pa' Guace. Corre Vallejo, corre pa' Guace. Corre Vallejo, y tú corre pa' Guace. Corre Vallejo, niña mira cómo va a volar. Corre Vallejo, corre pa' Guace. Corre Vallejo, corre pa' Guace. Corre Vallejo, corre pa' Guace. Corre Vallejo, niña abuela cómo va a volar. Corre Vallejo, macetono ya no que macetona che. Macetono ya no que dona che.
Mitch Garcia, how are you, mama? Assalamu alaikum. Get down, Parker. Hey, baby.
Niña, niña buena ya, dónate, 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 hace todo ya lo de, 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 dónate, dónate, y no hace a la ea, 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 hace
That was Bebecito Apucan with the group Ilu Aye, and the name of the song is Latinosa. I had someone negro and fino and blanco. It's actually a type of racist rant by some palero, and it's not, okay? It's a thing about friendships and manhood, actually, okay? And you got to think that a lot of these songs are bits and pieces of song melded together to make a whole song, okay? So when you hear these songs, a lot of these songs have little bits and pieces, even the Mambos and Palo, okay? And you also have to think about these songs as call and response, okay? Call and response is where the gallo, the singer, says something and the people say something back, okay? And it is to egg on spirits, to make energy flow better. And as you see, like even in Baptist churches and things that have African-American Baptist churches, they have a lot of call and response prior to the stomping and all that stuff there. And it's an actual way to meld or to be able to get in alignment with spirit. Okay. So when you hear the song Negro Fino, que me dé la mano, a fine, it says, a black man who gives me his hand has to be a fine man, not fine in structure, but fine in character, a fine individual. A white man who gives me his hand must be a gangulero like myself. See, we have to learn how to set boundaries in the things that we do, the friendships that we keep, and the circles that are around us. So if someone claims to want these types of interactions or these types of friendships, there's nothing wrong with it. Listen to the songs, listen to why they say them, listen to how the drum changes at a certain moment, and listen to these things. Learn to call and response. Learn to call and response even in your everyday lives. I used to think even the ciphers with the 5%ers, all right? The ciphers with the 5%ers was a type of call and response because someone would say something and the other guy would build on it. You understand? So my call for you today is that you learn the responses, that you keep the circles around you tight. The people that are good, hold on to them, and the people that ain't shit, get rid of them, baby. Remember, put your guards up today. It is Good Friday, and a lot of these fools want to do a whole bunch of shit they ain't supposed to be doing. Not only because today is Good Friday, but because of the state of the world. There's a lot of people hurting out there. All this energy that you guys are wasting and doing all this bullshit, you know, all this so-called bad witchcraft and all this kind of stuff, you know, if it ain't justified, leave it alone. And if you lived with it until this moment, just let it go until it's all over. Remember that the ancestors have a way of evening shit out. Each and every one of you has a guardian angel. Each and every one of you has killer ancestors. I want to thank each and every one of you that has been sending Okopuki goddamn fan mail. It is amazing how my alter ego is getting more fan mail than me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a safe day. Okay. I am Candelo Kimbisa. This has been, it's 12 o'clock somewhere. Our things are still on the way. You know, we're just trying to see how this coronavirus thing works out. Several of our appearances have been canceled due to the coronavirus, but each and every one of us are still around. We're still giving online classes. We're still doing works, readings, and all that stuff there. Okay. So we're still around, guys. So we're still looking forward to the Conjure Shop in Omaha, Nebraska, St. John's Conjure Weekend in New Orleans, the Detroit Hoodoo Heritage Festival in August. So, you know, once it starts warming up, so hopefully we'll be able to start getting closer to you guys. Okay. So these things are still coming up. I mean, as we get closer to them and this thing has not lifted, I don't know if we're going to be able to make it, but you can still reach us online. Okay. You can still reach Charles Porterfield. You can still reach Hoodoo Zen Moise, Mama Star Cassis, Michelle Jackson, Yvette the Motown Witch, Ifa Ibeyu, Miss Doc Beverly. Man, there are so many people you can still reach in this time. Duchess, Lady Duchess also does some wonderful classes and some online courses. You can check us all out online. You can check me out in particular on the Hoodoo Healing Circle. Don't worry, we don't only speak about hoodoo. We speak about a whole bunch of other stuff. Remember, guys, like, share, do what you got to do. And, you know, we're here for each other, baby. That's what we're here for. One hand washes the other and both wash their face. If you want to be on Candelo's Corner, okay, I'm trying to work on some new software, okay, so I can bring on new readers, bring on new storytellers, bring on people. Man, this is a community, guys. Let's do this together. As always, may all the egoons and shadows that accompany you have all the necessary light. From where I, Candelo Kimbisa, sits, that's it. Salam alaikum, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend and keep striving. Time to do some painting. Time for my famous belly dance. Peace and love, everyone.